You know what it's like to be completely and utterly swept off your feet by someone. The rush of adrenaline, the sense of being invincible, the feeling that you're home. That's what Aries loves. And I'm not talking about their infamous temper or impulsive nature, although those can be pretty intoxicating. No, I'm talking about the raw, unbridled passion they bring to relationships. But here's the thing. When an Aries falls in love, it's like a Category 5 hurricane. It's all-consuming, destructive, and utterly impossible to ignore. And once they've got their sights set on someone, nothing, and I mean no change, will stand in their way. They'll stop at nothing to make that person theirs, even if it means sacrificing everything else. And yet, there's something deeply vulnerable about Aries when they love. Something that makes you wonder what the heck just hit them. Because beneath all that bluster and bravado, an Aries is actually terrified of being hurt. They're terrified of losing control, of being drained, of being left behind. And that's what drives them to be so fiercely possessive, so intensely passionate, a desperate attempt to prove to themselves, and everyone else, that they're worthy of love. But what happens when an Aries realizes that their all, or nothing approach isn't working? What happens when they see that the thing they've been fighting for is actually slipping through their fingers? That's when things get really interesting, because at that moment, an Aries will do something truly terrifying. They'll confront the darkest corners of their own psyche and stare down the abyss head on. As we continue to explore the complexities of Aries love, it's essential to acknowledge the core contradiction that often lies at the heart of their relationships. Aries are known for their passion, energy, and unwavering commitment. They throw themselves wholeheartedly into the fires of romance, pouring all their emotions and attention onto the person they care about. To an outside observer, this may seem like a beautiful and all-consuming love, a true display of devotion. However, the harsh reality is that Aries' intense nature can be exhausting for those around them. The constant need for stimulation, the insatiable appetite for adventure, and the tendency to dominate conversations can make it difficult for their partners to catch a breath. Aries may see this as a sign of passion and excitement, but in truth, it's often just a symptom of their own intense emotional needs being left unmet. The problem lies in society's expectation that love should be a tranquil, peaceful experience, a warm hug on a cold day, a quiet dinner at home. But Aries are not built for stillness. They're wired to move, to act, and to drive forward with reckless abandon. And when their partners try to slow them down, to calm the storm that is Aries' emotions, it can be perceived as suffocating or even contemptuous. The truth is, Aries love on their own terms, a whirlwind of excitement, drama, and unpredictable passion. It's not always easy for others to keep up. But if they're willing to surrender to the ride, they may just find themselves swept off their feet by the sheer force of Aries' devotion. As we delve deeper into the complexities of Aries' emotional landscape, it becomes increasingly clear that their capacity for love is both a blessing and a curse. True love is not about tender whispers in the dead of night or grand romantic gestures. It's about being pushed to the breaking point. It's about feeling the weight of another person's expectations and then refusing to back down. Take, for instance, the infamous story of Napoleon Bonaparte's tumultuous relationship with Joséphine. The once invincible military leader was reduced to a mere shadow of his former self when he lost her. His obsessive love became an all-consuming force that drove him to madness. Or consider the case of Maria Callas, the legendary soprano who risked everything for her art and her passion. Her fierce dedication to her craft was matched only by her ferocious devotion to those she loved. And when they were taken from her, she was left shattered beyond repair. True love is not about sappy sentimentality. It's about being tested, tried, and tempered like fine steel in the fire of adversity. When it comes to Aries' love life, their defense mechanisms can be a complex and multifaceted web of psychological tactics. On the surface, their fiery passion and intense desire for connection can be alluring. But scratch beneath the surface, and you'll often find a deeply ingrained need to control and dominate in relationships. This is where their dark defense mechanism comes into play, a toxic coping strategy that involves pushing partners away or sabotaging the relationship to avoid feelings of vulnerability. Aries individuals have a tendency to intellectualize their emotions, using logic and rationalization to justify their own hurtful behavior. They may become overly critical or dismissive of their partner's needs, making them feel unheard and unvalued. In extreme cases, they might even engage in gaslighting tactics, where they manipulate the truth to make their partner question their own sanity. But what's truly fascinating is how Aries' scorched earth policy often emerges as a result of this defense mechanism. When faced with the prospect of genuine emotional intimacy, they'll frequently resort to wounding their partner, either by being reckless or just plain hurtful. This can be a desperate attempt to break free from the emotional dependence that comes with loving someone deeply, rather than facing the fear and uncertainty of true vulnerability. As we delve deeper into Aries' psyche, it becomes clear that their love is not about surrendering control, but about exerting dominance over the relationship itself. It's a curious paradox. Aries craves connection on one hand, yet uses self-sabotage as a means to maintain emotional distance. By understanding this complex dynamic, we can begin to see the true nature of their love, and perhaps even find ways to help them break free from this toxic cycle. You're about to get a glimpse into the deeply misunderstood love language of Aries. While they're often perceived as impulsive and self-centered, their true love expression is rooted in a profound need for validation. It's not just about grand romantic gestures. It's about being seen, heard, and appreciated by your partner. But beneath this bold exterior lies a vulnerability that few dare to explore. Aries secretly crave reassurance and emotional support, the kind that comes from being deeply understood and connected with. They're wired to respond to authenticity, not manipulation or empty flattery. So, if you're an Aries looking for love, know that your partner's words have power. Choose them wisely. And if you're an Aries partner, recognize the unspoken cues. A gentle touch, a knowing glance, or a heartfelt conversation can speak volumes to this passionate sign. Don't miss out on the chance to master your true power. Subscribe now and join the journey of self-discovery and connection that will change your life forever. What's holding you back from unlocking your full potential? Comment below with your sign, and let's ignite a revolution of love, acceptance, and empowerment together.